welcome to the Golden Hour and the Manifest to Live Life Golden podcast and YouTube show. I am Golden Duffy. I'm your host. And today we are talking about the hardest things that create in your life to manifest. So these are the things that, you may feel major blocks around, or you may feel like manifesting isn't working for you. Last show I did was about the basics of law of attraction, which is one of my favorite things to talk about because I feel like simplification is just something that is really needed in this world. I think we overcomplicate a lot of things, and manifestation can be very simply understood by knowing the foundations of the basics of the law of attraction, by knowing that energy is everything, that the energy that you're putting out is the energy that you're getting back, that the signal that you're sending really matters. How you feel, your mood, the way that you're projecting your future really matters. And so that's why these conversations are my favorite, because it's something that I feel like I've fine-tuned to such a place that I know and understand how I can watch energy. I'm going to share a little bit about how watching energy works and what it feels like, because there's still a very big faith-based situation in my life. There's still very much where I need to have faith, where I need to, trust. And when things aren't flowing or when things aren't working out, I have to take a step back. So I am in the exact same shoes that you are. I've just been at this probably, maybe, possibly a little bit longer. And I've done some pretty crazy things in my life to have that information about faith and trust and confidence and building something and manifesting a lot of things, a lot of different things. So when it comes to something that feels hard, if something feels hard, I want you to just think about that word for a minute. Anytime that something feels hard, or it feels like it's not working, or it feels like it's not going in that direction, the reason for that is because the energy is not stacked correctly. The energy is not moving in favor of whatever that is that you're looking to manifest. Now, there could be a lot of reasons. One reason could be that, you don't have the beliefs in place. You don't have the worthiness in place. You don't feel like you're worth that kind of lifestyle or that life choice or that life career. You could have blocks in your own thought patterns, like, I can't do this until the kids graduate, or I can't do this for this reason, or I can't do this for this reason, or I'm obligated to this person. So you could be putting your own blocks in the way. I'll give you a little example going back to our biggest manifestation, which was basically moving from Connecticut to California with no jobs, no house, no idea what the heck we were doing other than just like following our heart. And nothing really happened in that progression. It had been 4 years that we were really working on deciding that we were going to move west. We weren't sure if it was going to be Vegas. And then when we got really clear that it was going to be California, there were things that we were doing that weren't causing it to flow. And some can say that it's destiny and it's timing. And I really do believe in that. I believe in universal orchestration, but I also really believe in our readiness, when we're ready. And I had a really good friend at that point who I was going to her yoga classes, and she said, you don't want to get there before the party starts. I thought that was really an interesting way to look at it. Like, you want to be there, you want to get there at the perfect time for your situation so that things can line up. And, when we rush and we get desperate and we try to push energy, that's when we kind of get ourselves into trouble, because the energy doesn't have time to catch up with our insistence that it needs to be in a certain time frame or needs to work a certain way. So when we were in the midst of all that, we had come out to California. We visited for 8 days. I always love to think about that trip because it was so much fun. We just scouted all over from Santa Monica all the way to San Diego, all the way down to Orange County. And I will say, when I hit Laguna Beach, I felt something. And I still feel this to this day. There was a picnic table, and it was funny because I was there the other day and I was looking around and I was like, that picnic table's not even there anymore. And there was a picnic table, and we sat and had lunch with a friend, and we were looking out over people playing volleyball. And I just remember thinking, could this be my home? This feels like home. And now when I walk through there, and we live about 10 minutes from there, I mean, if we could fly, we live 3 minutes. I feel I feel that feeling. I feel that feeling of home and that feeling of connection and the feeling of really ecstatic accomplishment, because it is our home now. So when it comes to something that you're doing, it took for us we came here, we visited, so that kind of amplified the energy and activated it. But it didn't do what we wanted it to do, which was to make connections, to find a job, to find a house, the whole thing. None of that happened. And because that didn't happen, it would be another, I think it was like 6 or 7 or 8 months later that we made that solid decision to move. But that first meeting, that first time of going there and visiting and feeling the energy and feeling like we belonged there was a very necessary step in doing what we were about to do. Because just showing up at a place that you've never been to and just moving there, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that works, but it's a little crazier than kind of going there and feeling it and making sure that it's the right place for you, making sure that it feels good, making sure that it is in alignment with the vibration. And then when you go home, you kind of have the vibration of that place. You go home and you feel it and you're like, okay, this is what it feels like. And now when I close my eyes and I visualize, I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. So it makes that amplification of energy, that activation of energy, right? Like those molecules and this wave behind me, this wave of energy starts to go out more powerfully. But it wasn't until we made a solid decision that things really started to line up for us, that really started to activate. Funny story. I don't know if I shared this last show, and I'm sorry if I did, because I don't think I did, because I think it happened afterwards. But it was funny because my daughter, who started her own furniture business back in Connecticut a year ago, has been getting, a great flow of energy and great work, and just she's been doing really well. She opened a storefront, and she's been looking to get jobs, like, bigger jobs where she's doing, some remodeling and things like that. Just really looking to, step into her power. And she called us a week or two ago, and she was contemplating hiring someone, but she wasn't sure if she had, and she has someone, a great woman who's been helping her out here and there. And she said, I just don't know if I have the work for her to like keep her busy. So we said, have a conversation with her. But these things are all about a leap in faith. And this may be that hard thing for you that you've been really wanting to manifest and you haven't been able to really make it happen. This could be why, because sometimes, often, most times, we have to take a leap of faith. And we said to her, sometimes it takes a leap of faith. So she hires the girl, and the next day she gets this huge job. And then she got another huge job on top of that, and another huge job. Like, she's just gotten so much work since she hired this girl. And, they started working together, and they've got the cute little shirts, and they're just, oh my gosh. It's just to see her dream coming to fruition is so cool. And to see her take that leap of faith and to have the universe literally the next day answer that and say, yes, like, this is the direction you're moving in is great, and it's supported and it's orchestrated and it's all going to work out. And that was just so powerful to see that, like, so quickly. And then my other daughter, who was challenged financially, she was having some financial challenges. And, I just kept telling her, I'm like, you've got to get back to gratitude. And we don't like be grateful for things or be in appreciation to get things. That's not the idea. It's about tuning your vibration, tuning your frequency to a higher level of energy where you are not thinking about all the problems. You're not in the misery. You're not in the low, dense, bad mood feeling or depression or whatever it is. You're raising your vibration to notice what's good, to notice what is good in your life, to really take stock in it. And I know there's a saying out there that says, the more thankful you are, the more things you'll be thankful for, right? Like, it's an energy, it's a flow. So she's writing in her gratitude thing, and she gets this incredible opportunity at the end of August to do a job for someone that was a couple $1,000s and didn't really help her right now, but she just kind of kept on the gratitude thing. And the next day, she's doing her gratitude thing again, and the person decides that they want to give her a deposit for that work and just puts like $1,000 in her Venmo. So that was like, to me, these are kind of instant manifestations, but in a way that they've been pre-paved because the energy is there. The energy is there where it doesn't matter how you feel right now. If you can just get back in the saddle, if you can get yourself back in a place where you remember what's good, you're focused on what's good, you're feeling a little more lighthearted, you're not feeling so heavy, those are going to be the indications of the energy moving and changing. Your feelings are always an indication of the energy shifting and moving for you. Always your feelings. When you start to feel a little bit better, that's when things are about to get better. So, funny story. And I don't know where this is going to go yet, but I'm just going to share it because this show is kind of off the cuff and from the seat of my pants. As usual, no, I usually have more of a plan, but today this has kind of been a weird, I don't know, this has been a weird day, and I felt like I really want to sit down and get the show accomplished today so that I've many things going on. So I'm like, today is the moment, this is the moment, I'm going to bring the show to life. And we've been looking for a place. Now, I love our home. We love our home. We love our view. We love our home. It's a great house. And we've been here for 5 years, and we do still rent. Didn't really get into the home buying thing again, which in the future may happen. But I think we've been a little traumatized from home ownership. So anyways, we are deciding whether we should sign another lease. So it comes up to our lease time, and originally they weren't going to raise it, and now they're going to raise our lease. And so we're thinking about, are we going to do this for a year? Are we going to do it month to month? Well, everything we looked at in the market was so grossly overpriced, and nothing that compared to the house that we live in. So, or the view, because we have an incredible view, and the backyard is like our little sanctuary. But the challenges we've been having in this house is the neighbors. Like, we're just not jiving with the neighbors anymore. We've had a lot of issues. We've got some dogs that bark all the time, neighbors that don't really care about it. And there's just been a lot of things that have caused us to go, okay, maybe it is time to go. Like, our vibes are changing. We're raising our vibe. Maybe it is time to go. And this house isn't perfect. There are things that I still have on my little wish list. So I let it go. I probably looked at 10 houses maybe over the course of the last 6 months, let it go. And normally by now we're already in a lease for the next year. Like, our lease, I think, is up like August 1st, and it's like August 6th. And normally we're signed in to go for the next year. Well, they haven't come back to us with the lease yet. So I find that very interesting. This is how I watch energy. So I find that interesting. And a couple other things happened where I ordered some things for this house to change things up, because my husband's like, if we're going to stay here, let's zhuzh it up a little bit. Let's, feel better about where we live. And not that it's great the way it is. But so I kept ordering things that weren't working. Like, I ordered this light for my table, and 2 of them, one was too big, one came damaged. And I'm just like, what's going on? And then I was going to get the rugs cleaned. And then that's been a whole thing where I haven't reached out. And so it's like, I'm watching energy, and I'm like, okay, so what is the energy telling me? And so today I'm on Facebook Marketplace, and I find this house, and I'm like, holy cow, like, this is like so checks off a lot of my list items. So we're going to look at it today. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm feeling excited. I'm like, I just have a feeling. I don't know what it's about. So if we're not moving, it's okay. And that's the cool thing about manifestation, when you become really trusting. And this is one of the challenging parts about life in general, but also living kind of in an awakened and conscious state, is that you're really trusting. So if this is the place, great, it's all going to work out. It's going to flow. It's going to be really easy. I've already like pre-paved the energy if that's going to happen. And it's just going to be like, it's just going to stack up. The energy is just going to stack up. And if it's not the right place, then it just leads me to more clarity about what I want. And I'm good. Right? Like, I'm not really excited about staying here for another year, but I'm good. Like, I can love and be grateful and appreciate and all of that. But in my heart of hearts, I do feel like it may be time to go. So stay tuned. I will let you know how that transpires. But when we're doing this watching of the energy field, the thing that really gets in the way is that we get excited. I am a very excited person. I've been compared to a golden retriever. I get very excited. And I've learned, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, I know that my high highs may end up making, creating a disappointment where you're super excited and you get disappointed. And that's happened so many times that I do temper my excitement now a little bit. And I just, put out that energy of like, oh, this would be really cool and this would be awesome. But if it's not the perfect thing for us, then that's okay. That kind of living really does speak to being in a higher vibration. Because if you get really excited about something and then you dip down into that depression or disappointment, then you're kind of doing this up and down thing all the time. Well, the up and down thing doesn't allow you to live a life that is more steady in the higher vibrations. It really is kind of like a roller coaster ride of emotions. So if you really want to be in excitement is great. It's a very high vibration. It's connected to passion. It's connected to really fast moving energy flow. But when we get overexcited, we kind of blow the energy out, if you can imagine. It's kind of like a wave hitting a rock, right? Where it just like splashes everywhere. So instead, if we can be excited about something, like I'm really excited about the future right now. I don't know what that means. We have a lot of different opportunities that we're being presented with. There's a lot of different moving parts, but they're all very exciting. So I can just stay in the vibration of excitement without being too attached. Because when we get really attached, then we're trying to lock things into place and we're not taking in the factor of universal orchestration or our partner with the universe who may have something better for us. This may not be the house of my dreams. It looks really cool online, but they do things with pictures, these real estate agents. They judge pictures. So this may not be exactly what I'm thinking it is, but the excitement of the potential feels really good to me. And the excitement of knowing that potential exists, whether it's this year or next year, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because time is, you all know, time goes by so fast, so fast. So it doesn't really matter. I'm happy where I am and I'm happy where I'm going. And that is a huge place to be in law of attraction. If you are miserable where you are, this was one of the biggest things that we had to do in Connecticut. Was I knew that California was a high vibration. I came here. I saw people. I smiled at people. I felt the sun on my skin. I felt the energy here. If you go home and then you're super miserable, you're not in alignment with that place that you want to live. So I knew I had to keep myself in a high vibration. How do you keep yourself in a high vibration? I've been over this many times, but I'll just go through the list really quick. Being in a high vibration is like waking up in the morning and deciding how your day is going to go, no matter what yesterday was, no matter how you slept, no matter anything. You wake up in the morning and you decide, no matter what happens today, I'm going to spin it positive. I'm going to see the good. I'm going to look for the good things around me. I'm going to notice the beauty. I'm going to be present. So deciding those things and being in that high vibration and then potentially having time to sit down and quiet your mind and raise your vibration even further for 15 or 20 minutes. I did a 13-minute today because that's what I had time for. And just allowing that peace and quiet. I'm really bringing in frequency lately. So if you've listened to any of my meditations at the end, I clear energy and then I also bring in higher frequency energy. It's very simple to do. You just close your eyes and you take a deep breath and you just call it in. You just call in higher frequencies and you will feel it. You will feel it in your body. Sorry, I've had a little virus going on. It's going away. Still a little scratchy though. So you will feel it in your body. And then bringing in those higher frequencies allows you to tune into better things, best case scenarios. So instead of always thinking about what you're dissatisfied about or what's not going right, you start thinking about what can go right or what is going right or what you do have to be grateful for. And that's how you shift your vibration and you raise it over time. Talking to lighthearted people, having funny conversations, cracking jokes, being around, hugs. Oh my goodness, hugs. Like hugs are so good for you. Giving hugs, love, sharing, looking in people's eyes, being present with them and sharing that soul, that connection that we have. That connection is so important because the connection, I think really, truly, I've said this before, I think our connection to people and to love and to all of that is what life is really about. So you all know I've been watching Yes Theory on YouTube, and I would highly recommend becoming a subscriber. We are subscribers, and I just love the show. And I guess their new endeavor this year is to create little communities of Yes Theory communities and bringing people together because they value so much connection and they understand how social media has really caused us to be in this false sense of connection, and it's causing people to be more depressed than ever and sadder than ever and more disconnected. And so their idea is to get these little communities going where people are meeting and getting together and sharing their stories and saying yes to life. So super cool. I love it so much. So check out Yes Theory on YouTube, become a subscriber. I'm a huge fan. I'm going to send them an email. Crazy thing, we're watching the show last night and they were talking about what their idea is. And so this has been going on for 9 years and they just had their 9th anniversary and their 10th anniversary is on July 1st, 2025. And that will be our 10th anniversary in Connecticut. So that is our 10th anniversary of our Yes Theory, of what we did when we said yes, moving across the country, selling everything we owned, no house, no jobs, no nothing. So pretty cool. Like we felt really aligned to that and we feel very aligned to their purpose and what they're doing. And we really, really enjoy the show. So I highly recommend that one. While I'm off on a tangent right now, I'll just share the books that I have out right now and the book that is coming out. Mindful Manifestation Secrets is on Audible and it's also on Amazon. You have to Google Mindful Manifestation Secrets by Goldyn Duffy because Amazon kind of buries my stuff. And then Mindful Manifestation Secrets Daily Guide and Journal. That's 100 pages of content and then journal prompts and journaling pages. It's a hardcover. It's a really beautiful book. I think I have it here. I don't have it here. I thought I had it here. I have this one here. So this is Mindful Manifestation Secrets. And then Quantum Speak for Parents. I do have that one here. Quantum Speak for Parents is Law of Attraction and Parenting. So this one is on there as well. And this is my family in Connecticut. So these books will help you navigate the process of Law of Attraction much easier. This one gives you like a formula for it, shares all of our manifestation stories moving across the country. Really easy read. My next book is coming out on August 10th. I'm very excited. We now have a launch date for that. So I'll be putting announcements out on Facebook and I'll probably send an email announcement out. If you're not subscribed to my email, livelifegolden.com. I don't know if I have that here. I don't. livelifegolden, GOLDYN.com. You can subscribe to my website and you'll get my blog posts. And I've been pretty good about sending them every day, but those are my little posts that I put on Facebook. So if you're opposed to being on Facebook every day or you can't find me every day, that will go right to your email. So you can subscribe there and then you'll know what I'm up to because there's things going on and things are happening so fast. Okay. All right, let's get back to this conversation about hard manifesting. So one thing to understand is you are always manifesting. Law of attraction works all the time. It's always working. So it's not something that you have to, set your mind towards. It's really happening all the time. And it's based really on that mood, on that state of being that you are in the first second you step out of bed in the morning. I mean, when you open your eyes, it's the most important time. When you get up in the morning, what you're feeling is really matters. The other morning I got up, and if you read my Facebook post, this was a couple of days ago, I'm walking down the stairs and I love getting up with the sun. Like, I love the sunrise. In fact, I like getting up before the sun and then watching it come up. But I'd gotten up a little bit later and I was walking down the stairs, and I have this picture that says life is lovely with these pictures. With these flowers. And the sun was directly hitting this and highlighting this as I walked down the stairs. And it only lasted for like a minute. So the timing of that, the universal orchestration of me getting out of bed and seeing that picture at that time was not lost on me. It was very exciting. It inspired a whole post about it. But it also made me reflect on the fact that if I was in a grumpy mood and my head was down and I was mad about getting up, having to get up at a certain time or whatever, I would have missed that. So how many things are you missing by not putting yourself in a place of expansion, a place of noticing, a place of being really grateful and looking around at the beauty of life? Whatever it is. And if your home is not beautiful, I would highly suggest doing things that make it a little bit more beautiful. I just got this rug from World Market and I put it in my bathroom, and it's like this little boho rug, and it's like a sunset and leave like a little tree. And literally every time I walk into my bathroom, I just feel an uplift in my energy. It's so crazy. The smallest little things, a bouquet of flowers, you don't have to spend a ton of money. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to find things as well. But just making these beautiful little areas in your house, a place where you can walk by and just be reminded of beauty, is so super, super important, especially your house, surrounding yourself, keeping it clean, keeping it organized, moving things out, moving energy all the time. Super important. Not putting things in front of doors or windows, really keeping the energy open and flowing. Not putting furniture in funky places, like making sure that there's a flow in your home that really inspires a good feeling from you, so that when you walk in from your day, no matter what the day has been, or you get up in the morning to go down to get your coffee, you're already in an elevated space, a space where you can feel uplifted. Music is another way. It's really interesting. I used to play music all the time. And you guys know I love stick figure. The Elevators are my absolute favorite. Just make sure you spell it right. There's an older group called the Elevators. This is the Elevators. I still listen to them a lot, listen to my car. But when I'm home, I've noticed I really am enjoying quiet. I really am just kind of basking in silence. And that's hard to do if you haven't really gained control over your mind. But when you have a quiet mind, the sanctuary of your home and just coming home to the peace and quiet can be really, really fulfilling and can really help you to feel good. If you're not feeling lonely, or if you're not feeling sad about being alone, the silence can be just so beautiful. There was an episode on Yes Theory where the guy, and I highly recommend you watch this one, he went into a dark room for 5 days, no light. He had a bathroom, there was food, but he couldn't see. And he went through this journey of being like super upset, and then worked through all of these crazy emotions, had some weird dreams that actually he felt like it healed his relationship with his mom. And then by the 4th and 5th day, he was just in straight up gratitude. It was so interesting. And he always said that he had a hard time meditating. He always needed guided meditations. So finally, after those, 3 days of like really intensity, he was able to finally disconnect, really, create that space between his mind and who he really is. And then what comes to the surface is this beautiful feeling of freedom and gratitude, and just gratitude for life. It was really cool. I don't know. I could do it. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I could do it. But can you imagine 5 days, no stimulation at all? It's just you and you. Yeah, most people go crazy. It was pretty wild. So know that as you quiet your mind, as you settle your thoughts, as you move away from your thoughts, you are creating that space where more appreciation and gratitude and intuition, that's when your intuition really starts to be born, is when you give it some space. A lot of times our intuition is that small voice underneath all the chatter, right? That mind chatter that just like never stops. It's like, oh my God, I got to do this. And this is me today. I got to do this and I got to do that. And I didn't do anything. I just thought about doing all these things, right? While I'm doing the show. I guess that's one thing. But so the intuition is underneath that mind chatter. So you can't hear it. You can't hear it. It's that small voice. But as you create that space, right, quieting your mind and really basking in the silence, that intuition becomes louder. And then you start following it much more easily. And this is a time in our life, in our progression, in our evolution, where following our intuition is going to get super easy. Manifesting right now is like off the charts. I'm sure you've heard of our, August 8th Lionsgate. It's a very powerful time right now to speak our intentions and our manifestations out loud, to write them down, to gain some clarity, and to really get on this trip where instead of you stopping and starting and stopping and starting, or going up and down and up and down, you get on a steady state of love, gratitude, appreciation, lightheartedness, joy. And that steady state allows you to be faithful, to be trustful, to feel like, okay, if I want something, I'm going to manifest it, but it's going to manifest in the perfect time for me. And I have total trust in universal orchestration. I have total faith in this working out even better than I can imagine, because that allows you to kind of let go of the how. Because a lot of times, we're trying to figure out the how. We think about something we want to do. We're trying to think about how it's actually going to get done, and we can't see it enough. We don't have enough information. We don't have enough energy. The energy hasn't, progressed enough for us to know exactly how it's going to work out. We just have to go. We just have to go with it, send it, go with it, do it, and then watch as the energy flows. And if the energy at any time doesn't flow for you, right? If you feel speed bumps or walls, if you feel walls that are in your way, which is kind of what was happening to us with the house thing. We're looking, we're getting excited. Things aren't happening. I'm spending time, doing this, looking at houses, getting excited. Nothing transpires. Nothing transpires except our rent gets increased and our lease doesn't get sent. We don't sign the lease yet. So to me, I just always feel like, okay, I got to back up. I got to let it go. My husband said the same thing. We've done enough. We've put out enough seeds. If this is going to come to fruition, it's not going to be because we're pushing it. We've already planted the seeds. We've already put our order in with the universe. When it's ready, we will be ready. And that's it. And that's how it really works. So nothing really needs to be hard. If something feels hard to manifest, if you've been working on something for a long time, the things that you need to do are back up from it, especially if you've been pushing it. If you've been pushing it really hard, back up from it. Spend some time visualizing it, feeling good about it, letting it go, and then watch the energy. And then if you're still in that place where you don't feel like anything's happening, a leap of faith may be called for. It may be called for. If it's something you really want to do, what will ultimately end up happening is things will get so bad in your situation that it will feel good to let that situation go and make that huge leap of faith. And that's what was happening for us. We had a wicked winter, a lot of shoveling, a lot of cold, and a lot of contrast or challenge in that. And, honestly, the whole experience of living there just started to feel very heavy and dense, and for both my husband and myself. And it just stopped making sense to stay there. And that a lot of times will happen to you, especially if you've been in a job for a long time and you really don't like your job. Sometimes you'll lose your job. The job will go away. Or, crazy circumstances will happen where you just are suddenly set free and you're able to do what you want. And then, it's really easy to get into that mindset of like, oh my gosh, I heard this lady at the beach the other day and it just made me think of this. I don't have a job. And she was like, I just woke up this morning. I was in such a funk because I don't have a job. And I was like, that's like the way to not get another job. It's like to be in a funk. And I get it. We have to process, right? We have to grieve. We have to process. We have to do what we have to do. But at the end of the day, if it's ultimately about how we feel, then waking up in the morning and being excited, like I have no idea what's going to happen today. I have no idea which opportunities are going to present themselves to me. I'm going to be happy and grateful that I have the abilities to get another job, that I've got all these skills, that I've got, and really pump yourself up for all the qualities that you have to find that new, fun, wonderful opportunity that pays way more. Then you're going to be in a different vibration, a different frequency than if you wake up and you're upset about it. And we need to be upset sometimes, we need to process our feelings. The processing our feelings is what allows us to heal. It's what allows us to move forward. But if you really want to move energy a little bit faster, that trust factor is huge. It's absolutely so integral to moving energy faster, because there's a plan, there's a higher knowing, that there's a destiny here, that your wants, your desires matter. And sometimes those desires come on the heels of contrast or challenge or knowing what you don't want, right? A lot of times that's that step one process of manifesting. But then how long do you want to stay there for? Because the longer you're there, the longer and slower and denser the energy is to your manifestation. So if you can process those emotions, come through and ask yourself, what do I want to happen? Where do I want this to go? What do I want to transpire? And when you do that, that's when you start sending the signal, just like the wave, you start sending that signal out to what is wanted. And then what is wanted starts to really work out for you. And a lot of it too is forgiving yourself, for your past and for what didn't work out or for what happened before, because, those things can put a shadow on your manifestation as well. If you're in a lot of regret, if you're in a lot of resentment, if you're in a lot of that shouldn't have happened that way, that will cause the energy to slow way down and doesn't put you in a high vibration. Accept where you've been, accept what you've done, allow yourself to understand that it's all been part of your expansion and growth, whatever that was. And a lot of what you've done is set you free, set other people free, and what you needed to create something different. If things aren't working out, that's probably the number one thing that people do that really messes with manifestation is they hold on to things for too long. They hold on to old energies. They hold on to relationships they should have let go of. They hold on to old beliefs and old vibrations because, it can be hard to let things go. It can be hard to recreate ourselves and to become a new identity. And, especially if you've lived something for 20 or 30 years and then all of a sudden your life is completely different, it can be challenging to step into that. But the more you can let go of the past and just forgive yourself, forgive those who have transgressed you, and move forward, the freer you're going to be and the higher your vibration is going to have the potential of going each day, of being set each day to a place where you are a manifestation master. When you're mastering the energy, you're mastering manifestation, because the feeling is always the manifestation. The feeling comes first because that's the activation of energy, right? The feeling is you tuning your radio dial to a station. Now, what is that station playing? Is it playing music that you love, or is it static? Is it playing music that stresses you out, like it's full of your to-do list, or what you didn't get to do, or what you regret? Like, what is your station tuned into? And that all has to do with where you're allowing your thoughts to go. And then within 16 seconds, you get that law of attraction going. You've got another 16 seconds. It starts attracting the same type of thoughts. And then by 68 seconds, you are evoking emotion. And that is energy in motion. And that's what starts really creating on your path. So thankfully, not every thought manifests. We can catch ourselves in the beginning of a thought pattern. We can catch ourselves in the beginning of an emotional pattern. You know, if we notice our tendency is to get frustrated with a certain person, we can say, no, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to let that person be that person. I'm going to go over here on my happy way. And I'm not going to allow that person to trigger me or to have control over my emotions. Because that's what we're doing when we allow other people to infiltrate our vibration, right? When we allow other people to put us in a bad mood, usually it's judgment. It's like somebody snaps at us and we make a judgment about how they shouldn't do that, or we're being disrespected or whatever. That is us handing our vibration over to somebody else. Instead, if we could just be like, wow, they're in a bad mood today, I'm going to steer clear. I'm going to stay in my happy place and I'm going to steer clear. It's not easy. I'm a mom, so I know it's not easy when you're surrounded by that negative energy. I had a little thing with my daughter this morning and she got mad at me because she was telling me something. And funny enough, not funny, but interestingly enough, she was talking to me and I was on my phone. So sometimes my kids will come to me and I'll be on my phone and they just start talking. So I put my phone down, but I was in the middle of reading an article, not important article, right? Just got caught up in something. And she started talking to me and I thought she was done. So I picked my phone back up and she got mad at me because I picked my phone back up. And it wasn't even really like a conscious thing. I just did it. And then I noticed, but her feeling and what she was talking about was being unappreciated and unsupported. So I felt like she attracted that from me. So for the rest of the morning, she was mad. She was in a tizzy, went upstairs, got herself ready. I walked in her room, I hugged her, got nothing back. She just kind of like, didn't want me to be near her. I'm like, okay. So then she was getting ready to leave and she just said, I really need you to be present with me. And I looked at her and I just said in her eyes, and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And that was that. And then I got a text from her a little bit later and she said, thank you for your kind words. Because I gave her a big hug and I just said, I love you so much and you're such a bright light and don't let that one moment, carry through your whole day. So I'm human. We are all human. We can say sorry. We can make a difference. We can make a difference in the smallest ways, and raising our vibration goes along with raising other people's vibrations. So the other day I was walking and I was on my trail. I was doing a little hike in the morning and I walked by this guy who had on a big military backpack and he was carrying his water bottle and he was running. And he walked by me and I just said hello. And then after I thought about it, I was like, I should have said something to him. Like I should have said, great job. So he ended up passing me again. He turned around and he passed me again because I was walking and he was running. And I just said, great job. And he said, thanks, and laughed and kept going. And we met each other in the parking lot. And as I was walking by him, he goes, hey, thanks a lot for that encouragement. And I said, yeah, I got a little boost from it too. Like as soon as I said great job to him, I felt it. Like I felt his appreciation for it. I felt that it gave him a little bit of boost at the end of his hike, his little run. And it gave me a little boost too. Like I felt a little pep in my step after I did it. And I said, how crazy is that 2 words, great job, could cause 2 people to raise their vibration, give them energy, and help them to feel better. Like we are so freaking powerful. what we say to people, how we address people, how we look at people, how we come off to people, our energy it's alchemy. It's freaking alchemy. We are so powerful that we have the ability to shift anyone in front of us. And yes, there are people that aren't available for it. I get that. And that's not like our job to go out there and like make everybody sunshine and rainbows. No. But if we can make a little bit of a difference in every person that we meet by just smiling, by saying, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having a good day. Just those little things. Great. I think you're doing a great job. Or my kids do this all the time. They are so good at it. They compliment people all the time. Where I am still like, if I see someone and I think something, I don't always say it. It's so cool when you can do that. It kind of takes a little bit of confidence. I'm always really impressed with the way they will just speak out and say, hey, I really love your hair, or I really love this about you. Or, when we notice that, it plants a seed for that person, and they may think about it for years. They may think about it when they're having a bad day. They may think about it when they need a little boost. Hey, but that person said I have beautiful eyes, or I have a beautiful smile. It's really powerful. We have so much more power than we ever give ourselves credit for, or even even utilize, because we get stuck in our heads, right? I call it business mode. We're just in our heads. We're just not noticing anything around us. If we can just get out of our heads and be more present and be more in this energy game, right? Because the higher we are and the more that we influence the energy around us in a higher capacity, the more our entire world is going to be better, because we are influencing. It's like that ripple effect, right? I would call it the Goldyn effect. It's like that effect where we help somebody feel better, they help the next person feel better, that person feels better, so they make that person feel better, and it just doesn't end. It becomes this really cool connection to higher vibrational living and to feeling good and helping people shift and helping people to feel, not so alone, to feel more connected. Because when we feel alone and when we feel depressed and when we feel like we can only look at our own problems, we're very, very much in our own selves, right? That smaller self. When we're looking out and we're making a difference in the world. Oh, there's such a cool song. It's called Wise Man by Mahali. One of my favorite new songs. It's such a good song. Oh my goodness. It's so good. It's called Wise Man. You got to hear it. It's such a great song. But it makes me think of that because it's all about, and it's not necessarily about like putting somebody else before you, but it's just noticing that we live in a world with a lot of different people. And if we can start making a difference out there, it will make all the difference in here. And of course we have to feel it first, right? Like we can't necessarily fake it. But as we feel it, as we feel good, as we take those preliminary exercises in the morning where we're waking up really intentional, we're spending some time in gratitude and meditation, enjoying and just basking in those first couple of minutes when that gorgeous sun comes and gives us all its glory, really into the sunrise. Do you want to see some good sunrise pictures? Look on my Facebook. Brilliant. I love to hike first thing in the morning. I have this incredible place that I hike and I can see the ocean, and then the sun comes up and it's just stellar. It really is. It's one of those things that we all get to do. We all have the freedom to do it. We can all get up a little bit earlier. We can all make these commitments to ourselves. It's just a commitment to yourself. And just, checking those things off every day. And then, I'm really into physical movement of the body. Anything you can do to walk, move your body, create mind muscle connection. All of that stuff is good because it gets you out of your head and gets you grounded in the physical space of your body where you are not just taken over by the mind that tells you you don't feel like doing it, or you don't want to do it, or you just want to lay here. It's like it's like a mind training. It's another physical movement. Exercise is all about a mind training, because you're overcoming the mind's insistence that you stay the same. And it's so good for your health. We all know how good it is for your health. All right, so let's do a little frequency tuning. This was a random show, so hopefully you stuck with me the whole time, me and my random stories. But there was some really good nuggets in here, some really good information. Go back to my basics law of attraction, because that gives you really the foundation and the formation of how these laws really work and how to get the most out of them. I have a couple of shows that are really about the individual laws, but law of attraction is like attracts like. So let's bring in some good high vibrational energy so you can feel it. All right, so just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Many of us breathe too shallow, and we also don't exhale all the way. So you want to breathe in, really feel your lungs and your belly expand. And then when you breathe out a little longer than you normally do. And then breathing in. And just imagine the crown of your head is opening. And we're calling in all this beautiful light, divine energy, universal energies, non-physical supports, guides, all the wow, that was a big one. All the high frequency energy that is potential for us to bring into our physical bodies. We just call on that like a shower. Calling us to a higher awareness, to higher potentials, to a stronger manifestation game, so that we can be the strongest manifestors and really take ourselves into a new dimension, a new frequency, where there's ease and there's flow, and we become really aware of energy and watching energy and knowing how to do the dance with energy. Yeah. So just feel all of your cells lighting up, going into their perfect state of well-being, reassembling, lighting up in health and wellness and vitality and energy, allowing you to feel lighter, stronger, more excited, happier, joyful, lighthearted, free. Feel free. Turn the news off and feel free. Yeah, turn all those things off that don't make you feel free. Maybe put a little smile on your face. Excited for a new day, a new night, a new whatever. Because the energies are ripe for newness. The energies are ripe for us to feel different, to act different, to respond different, to be different, and to promote the change that we are interested in making, allowing us to focus on what we want to happen, our strongest desires, allowing us to take leaps of faith, and seeing instantly how the universe will always have that net appear. Calling in this beautiful energy of flow, connection, support, confidence, creation, promotion, activation, and deep, deep, deep love and appreciation. So good. So good. You can do that at any time. You can close your eyes at any time during the day and bring in that beautiful light, that beautiful frequency that will allow your vibration to raise and allow you to let go of those things that maybe have held you down for long enough. We don't need to live like that anymore. Life is very precious. I see it all the time. It can be over very quickly for any one of us. So getting the most out of our moments right now, getting the most out of our day, getting the most out of our relationships and the people that are in front of us is super important. It really is. It's the most important thing you can do to create a happy, healthy, vital existence. All right, y'all. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. I am usually here weekly on Thursdays, live at noon. It's live recorded. So today is Tuesday, but you will be seeing it live on Thursday. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Manifest to Live Life Goldyn, if you want to watch this live. Or E360 is the app that we actually are promoted on. It's E360, Roku, Apple TV. It goes across all these different places. We've got tons of listeners there. So if you're listening from there, thank you so much for your love and support. But have an amazing week. Have a beautiful, this summer has been so beautiful. Enjoy the beautiful moments. Enjoy the sunrises, the sunsets. Do whatever you can to get out there in nature and see those beautiful birds and clouds and sky, because this is your life. You get to live it. You get to manifest it exactly the way you intend. I love y'all. Peace out.